Bischoff was on NXT this week. There's something about Bischoff that when he shows up, and this was the first time he's ever shown up on NXT, it does feel important. And it certainly was tonight as he would stand in the ring and literally stir the pot between Trick Williams and Ridge Holland. And it worked. The brawl was on. These two will clash at Deadline. Ridge, though, would clear the announce table. Candy and all! That poor Candy, goddammit. Ridge Holland would then lift Trick Williams up, spiking him down onto the announce table. Ridge Holland getting exactly what he wants. Days before Deadline. That maniacal smile and laugh from Ridge Holland as Trick Williams was stretchered away from the announce table. What does this mean for Deadline? Look at the reaction of Eric Bischoff. Like, he's in shock. This is genius booking, but I don't know where it leaves the NXT title match on Saturday. Question is, does this weaken Trick for Ridge Holland to win? This is things you might have missed from WWE NXT. Make sure you hit the like button, and if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button too. Tonight we had 2 Fatal 4-Ways last chance qualification matches for the Iron Survivor Challenge at Deadline. Our first match tonight would see the women take the stage and of course fight for that right to go to Deadline. An absolutely shocking end to the match as Wren Sinclair was victorious. I didn't see anyone predicting that Wren would do it. I'm actually quite pleased that she did. I feel like in an era of NXT's women's division that's absolutely stacked, it's great to see someone be rewarded for great character work, great wrestling ability, and always just putting on a damn good match. And that's exactly what this qualification match was. I love that it was scrappy. I love that the women were desperate. This is what they wanted. Well, it wasn't what Wren wanted, because it was Lola Vice's backhand that was aimed at Jaida Parker that would take Wren Sinclair down for the cover, and she didn't even know about it. After the match, Jaida Parker would come back to the ring and demand that the referees take the ropes down, because if Lola Vice wants to go to the underground, they're going to do it tonight. And we came back from commercial. The referees were taking the ropes down. And then General Manager Ava would come out and say, no, underground at Deadline on Saturday. Lola Vice would come out, Jaida Parker would knock her out, and we have absolutely no idea why the officials started taking down the ropes at the orders of Jaida Parker without consulting the general manager Ava first. Let me be real, if Jaida Parker shouted at me to do something, I'm going to do it. Do you know what I mean? But the referees probably should have checked. This is their job after all. And as we went into the Battle Royal as the next match, you could tell the ropes were very loose, which probably explains what felt like a very long commercial break during the entrances as they probably tried to fix the ring. Well, after weeks of brawling, tonight's Battle Royal for the tag teams was to determine number 1 contenders for the tag team titles. I like and feel that we definitely set up some undercard matches for the tag team division. Obviously, people that didn't win, sort of beefing a little bit in the match, so that was fun. At one point, Gallus was the last team standing, and of course, that didn't end very well for them. In fact, it ended very well for No Quarter Catch Crew, as Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne successful and are the new number 1 contenders for the NXT Tag Gold. We found out tonight that Shawn Spears has spent over 2 months cultivating, his words, the new character Nico into his group. He said he's almost ready to be unleashed on this roster, so we know Nico is going to be a wrestling character. Then would mention that something was missing from their group and immediately would welcome back Gigi Dolan. Does Shawn Spears want to recruit Gigi? And if it's not Gigi, I assume at this point it's going to be another female, and then probably a feud with Gigi. With her new friend Tatum Paxley at ringside, Gigi Dolan would return to action in ring on TV tonight as she would face off with Izzy Dame. Shawn Spears would emerge on the entranceway, watching along with the match. Obviously, we'd see Gigi Dolan successful tonight, not a real big shock. But why was it that Shawn Spears looked most impressed when Izzy had the advantage? Could Izzy be the true person that actually Shawn Spears is trying to recruit? X-Pac was on NXT this week. He'd have a segment with Javon Evans, giving him a giant pep talk ahead of the Iron Survivor Challenge on Saturday. They got to Too Sweet. Javon Evans was marking out. This is really interesting to me because WWE are seemingly doing something we've not seen for a long time. Using legends, using names of a different era to put someone over. Not necessarily like this segment in ring, but it works. You think Javon Evans is still relatively new to NXT, and in this time he's had RVD floating around, whatever that was supposed to be. He's had a match with Randy Orton, and now he's been endorsed by X-Pac, all on WWE TV. It's genius. Carmen Petrovic was successful tonight, defeating Nikita Lyons, but Carmen wasn't happy with Ashante, and I don't know why, because Ashante came out, he was in the corner of Carmen, he pushed Carmen out of the way, he took the shot from Nikita, allowing Carmen to capitalise, but Carmen angry that Ashante would even consider pushing her. The unfortunate Eddy Thorpe was on screen today in a backstage segment. He'd explain what happened last week with Ava, and he'd say that the only reason he's still in the Iron Survivor Challenge qualification Fatal 4-Way tonight is because Ava and Shawn Michaels watched the tape back and realised it wasn't his fault. Logic! I like logic in wrestling. It's genius booking. Come on, keep doing more of it. And tonight in the main event, Eddy Thorpe would be successful. Eddy Thorpe securing that final spot. By the way, did you see Santa Claus in the crowd at NXT tonight? Literally right next to Javon Evans, wearing a tracksuit, chilling out, enjoying some wrestling, because in 3 weeks' time, he's about to be very busy. Roxanne Perez would finish the show tonight and, of course, trash all the participants in the Iron Survivor Challenge, saying whoever wins it, whoever gets a shot of the belt, has zero chance against her. All the deadline participants would come out, and, of course, the brawl was on. I'll be honest, though, I really don't feel like this segment was necessary in any way, but it happened. We have to talk about this, though. This is huge. Eddy Thorpe saying that he will go on to win the NXT Championship, etc. And, of course, someone walked in the room. We don't know who this was. The final seconds of the show would show us the locker room as the cameraman would then find Eddy Thorpe laid out in the back. Are they insinuating that The Rock, the father of Ava, was the one to go and lay out Eddy Thorpe? Was The Rock on NXT? That's wild. If it's not The Rock, could it be a member of the bloodline, one of either factions, the faction that The Rock is secretly aligned with, potentially solos, and obviously like Jacob Fatu went and did this for The Rock? Maybe. Really fun ending to NXT tonight. I feel like there was a few segments that I mentioned that just didn't need to happen. But nonetheless, NXT will always be NXT. For me, a solid 7 out of 10. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace!